आज तो उस सपने पे 4 चांद लग गए, क्योंकि मैं ना सिर्फ एक बैंक की ब्रांड एम्बेसडर बनी हूँ, मैं फेडरल बैंक की ब्रांड एम्बेसडर बनी हूँ। तो एंड दिस वाज अ लवली सरप्राइज। मुझे पता नहीं था कि पापा ने ये वीडियो किया है, सो थैंक यू वेरी मच। I think he's partial because the Federal Bank comes from Kerala, even as it spreads its wings everywhere else, and that's our story too. My father, and I was of course born and brought up here, but ये हमारी कहानी है, so I think he takes special pride in this one.
No, it's well, and I must thank him through you for having spent some time and shared this. I think it's also very personal because when our kids. I'm also an uncle now, so I can say when our kids grow up, it's a different kind of feeling. But I want to get Manian in at this point in time, and I want to tell him, bring him to a conversation he had much before he joined the bank. We were having a coffee at Trident, and you told me, MBS सोच brand ambassador के बारे में सोच कब आएगा पता नहीं, but सोचना चाहिए हमको इसके बारे में. So is Vidya too early, too late, or are you going to give me a green tick mark on this one?
So he's right. When I first met him, even before I joined, I had a chat with him, and I did broach this topic. But this is what one calls serendipity. Vidya, if you recall, we coincidentally do one program jointly with Network 18 called Sanjeevani, and that espouses cancer as a cause, and we happened to meet there. Right, and because we sponsor that program, and Vidya is the brand ambassador for that program, and we happened to meet there, and that's what got me thinking. And then, of course, it's such a coincidence that first we meet there, and then I start thinking about you and Federal Bank. So many things that look similar. Like you said, first the roots, right? Both are from roots in Kerala or whatever. But more importantly, even qualities like versatility, brands which have made an impact in broader India context, not just regional, authenticity, versatility, or I would say thinking. I would like I would associate you with a thinking personality. So many things rank a bell, right? So I think green tea.
So Vidya, I will come back to the inception with you. When you got to hear for the first time that Federal Bank wants you to be their brand ambassador, what were the first set of thoughts that came to your mind? I know you spoke about not having a bank in your roster of work that you did, but what were your first thoughts when Federal Bank came to you?
Firstly, hello everyone. How rude of me not to have said hello when I came on stage. I think the first image that popped into my mind was seeing Federal Bank everywhere in Kerala. And then the fact that I met the two of you at the Sanjeevani Network 18 event. I was like, this is what we call the interconnectedness of life. You don't realize how one thing leads to another. And I remember having this conversation about banking and about investments and all with both of you that day. And then the next thing I know is, you all, sent a message through my agent saying this is something you all want to explore. I was very, very happy because it's a bank that has great credibility, and has, this is something I knew even before the association happened to me, that you all have multi-generational customers. So I knew that you all inspired trust. And at the same time, you all have kept up with the times, and you all are, you all have embraced technology and digitization beautifully. So I think it almost felt like we were aligned, we were meant to be, because the kind of roles that I've done have been an extension of who I am, or the way I think, and I think I'm someone who holds on to my traditions while, I like to believe that I have a very progressive today mindset. and yet I'm not letting go of my traditional roots. So I think it just felt like the perfect marriage to me. So I was very, very excited.
Vijay, you said it was meant to be. You know, the day we met, just 3 days before that, I told you that I met Siddharth.
Yes.
In some event. Right? So I and Siddharth were talking. Of course, at that time we had no idea this will happen.
Right.
But like you said, certain things are meant to be and
Yeah.
they are meant to happen.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to ask you one more sub question to this. आपको ऐसे नहीं लगा कि यार regional brand है, मैं क्या करूँगी? I have a large presence pan India. Did those thoughts cross your mind?
No, not at all. Firstly, I don't look at it as regional or national or today. I think more than ever that is irrelevant. And you know, I see Federal Bank as being poised to make that big leap nationally. I can see that already happening, right? Because before our meeting, I did do some reading up and research, and so I knew that was. And I'm very greedy. Even if you all were only in Kerala, but it was a great opportunity for me because it's, you know, I endorse lots of brands, but I try and choose brands that I feel a certain, sometimes it's a brand I use, sometimes it's a brand I feel an affinity with, something you've grown up with, sometimes it's a brand that espouses your values and mindset. And I think with Federal Bank, all the boxes got ticked. You know, so there was no question, and I know that here is a hope for us to grow together. I haven't done a Malayalam film in the longest time. Who knows? Maybe.
Malayalam, Manorama and Mathrubhumi are here. She's giving you a hint that...
No, and you know, my career was supposed to start there. So I see everything like I see the interconnectedness. I spoke about the interconnectedness of life. I don't see, you know, I see that my life has moved from point A to point C sometimes before reaching point B. But that's how it's meant to be, you know. So I don't plan, I don't strategize. If it's a good opportunity, it's great. I don't think scale, I think scale happens.
I want to ask you, and it's not an answer, is it horror, is it comedy, or is it biopics?
Comedy, always.
Okay.
I love to have a good laugh. And I'm dying to do a comedy. So if I get to do a comedy, like, you know, just make people laugh, that'd be the best thing I can do.
I want to jog your memory to a movie, Parinita.
Yes.
Okay, and I picked this movie up particularly because when you want to play Parinita, there is also a background. There are legends who have played that role, and there has been a whole production house and stuff like that. When you were playing that role, and in the context of the bank also, was there this weight of expectation? Okay, I have to deliver better than the previous set, and how do you navigate that moment? The moment of, it's also a moment of epiphany, right? Wow, this is the role that I'm going to go on to where somebody else is.
You know, I don't think that was even a consideration in my mind. This was my one opportunity to make it work. You know, if I had carried the weight of expectations with me, of the fact that, you know, before me there's been a Meena Kumari, there's been a Moshni Chatterjee who've done Parinita, then I wouldn't have been able to do it. I was only focused, like I remember people ask me, how was it like, you know, shooting with Saif Ali Khan and Sanjay Dutt, and I said, you know, you could have cast me opposite a tree and I would have still given it my best, because for me, it was a make or break. But of course, after the film was done, I was like, and I hadn't watched their films before consciously. Dada, Pradeep Sarkar, my director, didn't want me to. I watched Vimal Roy's Parinita after the release of my film, and I felt like, oh God, thank God I didn't watch it before. Then maybe I wouldn't have been able to, you know, but I think I gave it my all, and that was the only thing one can ever do. We can never be as good as the other, you know, but we're not any lesser than the other. I think that's what's propelled me ahead, despite the fact that I come from a complete non-film background. This self-belief, this hunger is the only thing that has seen me through.
Thank you. Those are key words for us also: self-belief, hunger, not worrying about the legacy, but trying to go out and give your best. Not, of course, watching your rear, but driving in front is very important so that somebody doesn't come and bump into you. The other question which I wanted to ask you was that you have also played some very prolific characters, Shakuntala Devi, even Vishnu Mangal. You're also clued in to the India story which is coming in. What is your thought about how this country is being seen? And I have a sub question to that, but I'll hold on to that.
Okay. I just think that for a while now, India has begun to be seen in a different light. You know, everything Indian is being appreciated that much more now. We don't need, I think there is more self-confidence in India now. So we're not looking for others to validate us. We are taking great pride in who we are. And I think that therefore we're having more of a global impact. We're not letting go of what's local. We are instead celebrating that, which is why I think we are able to connect with, to make an impact on people across the globe. So I think we're actually browning points for just being us more than ever now, and that's what's going to help the breakthrough for Federal Bank and for, that's my opinion as a country.
But into you, not letting go of the local, not letting go of our ethnic, organic values. And you have traveled so much across the bank, you have met people. And when you compare it with the other investment bankers you meet or other CEOs, how do you think that this will really power our character in our journey of the breakthrough?
So, you know, as I traveled through the first few months across the firm, across geography, one thing that we have, which we want to keep going, is the pride of being a federal. And I think pride of being a federal is so intense that it is something that is going to help us propel ourselves going forward. And you know, whether it is to do with Kerala as a state, I think one of the things I've been saying that the culture of service is quite ingrained in our culture. So I find the commitment to serve people well is something, probably it has something to do with Kerala as a state. And I think that is some core value that we have evolved over a period of time. That is again something that as we grow out and become bigger, these two things, pride of being a federal and the commitment to service, if we can just keep that, hold on to those qualities. And you know, the Rishta is an outcome of that commitment to that service, right? Because, so I think if we can hold on to these two core values as we grow bigger and beyond, I think it will really serve us well.
So Vidya,